Central Park is the most famous city park in the world. But did you know of its 843 acres, every single tree, shrub, and flower were placed by design and not by nature? I'm Michael Weitzner. I've been an architect in New York City for over 35 years. And today, I'm going to show you some of the hidden details that make Central Park the greatest metropolitan park in the world. In the 1840s, the concept for a large-scale park in Manhattan was proposed by poet William Cullen Bryant and one of the fathers of American landscape architecture, Andrew Jackson Downing. Their dream would come to life in the 1850s when the city of New York held a design competition for the Central Park on the island of Manhattan. Over 30 entries were submitted, and the ultimate winner was the park as we know it today, designed by landscape architect Frederick Law Olmsted and architect Calvert Vaux. Behind me is the dairy. This may not be one of the most famous buildings in the park, but it has a tangible connection to one of the initial requirements of the design competition, and is part of what made Vox and Olmsted's design so ingenious and distinct from the other submissions. This building is in the center of the Children's District, which was incorporated into the design after the competition in order to accommodate younger visitors to the park. The dairy was a place for children to have access to fresh milk, which at the time in the late 1800s was not something everybody had. And you can see it has a bit of a Brothers Grimm fairy tale feeling to it. But there's another part of this building that you can't see, that extends down 2 stories to the ground just on the other side of that fence, where it meets one of the transverse roads that allow traffic to cut through the park. A transverse road is basically just a road that allows traffic to cross through the park, which is important because the park covers 51 city blocks north to south. The original design competition required a minimum of 4 transverse roads across the park. Everybody else essentially left them on the surface, which cut the park into basically 5 equal pieces. Vox and Olmsted's design was the only one that designed them in such a way that the traffic would be on a lower level than the rest of the park, essentially submerging them so that the immersion and nature of park guests would not be disturbed. This piece of iron sticking out of this boulder is not an oversight. In fact, it's a survey vault that marks the original street grid of Manhattan.